Welcome. We are going to be talking about Venus in the third house in Vedic astrology if this is your Arudha Lagna. So, in Vedic astrology, there is a concept called the Arudha Lagna, which means, loosely translated, the reflection of the self. Now, the self here, the Lagna, has to do with your rising sign. Your rising sign is how you interact with the world. Whatever your sign is, mine is Leo, I see the world through the eyes of a Leo, and that's how I interact. But that's not how people see me. The way people see me is my reflection of that. Your reflection, your Arudha, will be in a different house based on all kinds of things. And if you don't know what your Arudha is, you can go to astrology.thunderwizard.com, and either I or one of my apprentices can calculate that for you and tell you how to use it. Today we're going to be talking about what if your Arudha is Venus in the third house. It's really important that you understand what your Arudha is, because the Arudha is not the self. You may or may not have a close personal identification with your Arudha. Some people automatically, because of where their planets are placed, they may automatically just see themselves that way or feel close to it. So it's easy for them to represent themselves that way. You may have difficulty with it. And if that's the case, then you are blocking your own success. My experience is that the Arudha is the most important significator of your success, because it's your superpower. And it is how your soul has chosen to advertise your abilities. So, what if you have Venus in the third house as your Arudha Lagna? It means that when you walk in the room, people see Venus in the third house. They don't see your ascendant, they don't see your 10th house, they see, or where your moon is, they see where this happens to be for you if this is your Arudha, Venus in the third house. So what is Venus? Venus, as we know, is the goddess of love. So she has a strong connection to sensuality, sexuality. But she is all about pleasure through connection. All the things that she does, whether it be a love of art, a love of beauty, a love of clothing, a love of design, a love of sensuality, a love of food, wine, music. All of her love for all of these things allows her to connect. She wants to connect with other people. This is what gives her the greatest joy. So Venus is a sign of friendship. So Venus and Mars are direct opposites of each other, because Mars is about destroying and killing and controlling. Venus is about interacting and loving and appreciating and accepting. Venus wants to be friends. So this means that these qualities are going to be coming through the third house. So what is the third house? The third house is your energy, your drive. It's what drives you through life. If you have a strong, powerful planet in the third house, you will be a very strong-willed person. If you have problems with your third house, it may mean that you have problems with bravery or problems standing up for yourself or communicating. The third house is the house of communication as well. Short-term, repetitive communication, having to do with like writing dime store novels, writing TV series, blogs, vlogs, writing books. Like I write a lot of books. I'm a third house Arudha myself. I write a lot of books. They're short books. And, this is different from the fifth house, which is writing war and peace or cinema. So this is television, reality TV shows. With Venus in here, Venus wants to communicate beauty and love and friendship and health, food. You might be doing a foodie blog. You might do a blog on might want to do a blog on, clothing and design. So this, you'll see designers. The third house is the hands. So Venus in the third house, it could mean you have healing hands. Moon is going to be healing as well, but it's going to be like energetic, spiritual healing. Venus is, more of a, like, if you have a Venus in third house masseuse, this is somebody, when they touch you, you're just going to feel so comfortable and so relaxed, and you'll just go to sleep. It'll feel so good. Moon is going to put you in this state where you'll heal and it'll feel good. You may fall asleep too, but it'll have a very airy sort of, quality about it. Mars in the third house means you're a one-punch knockout fighter. So Venus will have a very sensual touch as well. So if this is your girlfriend or your wife or even your husband, you're lucky, because when they touch you, it's going to have a very sensual vibe to it, and you're going to love every second of them touching you. It also means that they have the ability perhaps to be clothing designers. Well, they themselves will, with their hands, be able to sew and create. Maybe they make crafts, necklaces, clothing, food, as I said before. Their hands love to create whatever brings pleasure, sensuality, happiness. Hands also means administration. So whatever's in the third house could use that power to administrate and control. So this means this could be somebody who could administrate, food contests or clothing or, whatever those things are called, fashion shows. Mars in the third house. What the hell do they call those things where people are walking around with the clothes on? It's a fashion show. So you can see I don't have the same, I'm not wired the same way. I like, why the hell are they wearing those weird clothes? Whereas Venus in the third house goes, man, that is so beautiful. Look at the way that the light bounces and the way that the fabric billows in the wind, and I could use silk for that, or I could use, a billion thread cotton for that. This is the mind of third house Venus. Now, third house Venus is going to be strongly affected by what sign it's in. So, when you have really powerful planets like Sun, Mars, right? The sign has an effect, but those planets are so strong they power through those signs. They're affected by it, but it's more like they're just sort of knocked off their trajectory. But soft signs like Venus and Moon, whatever sign comes in has a very strong effect, because Venus wants to connect. So Venus is very intuitive. Venus is very empathic. So she will flow with her partner because she wants to understand and be part. She wants to help. So this is a sign of helpers, maybe a nurse. This is somebody who can come by and rehabilitation with her hands, things like that. So whatever sign she's in is going to have a strong effect on it. If she is in her own sign, like let's say Libra, then this is going to be somebody who has the ability to, for instance, let's say there's just two people and they're fighting and arguing. This person can walk up and put their hand on one on each shoulder and say, come on, let's think this through, guys. You guys really do have a lot in common. And then before you know it, those two people will be crying and hugging. So this is the sign of a mediator. If it's Venus in a Jupiter sign, then it's going to be very deeply spiritual, but have that aspect of pleasure, and you'll try to use spirituality to focus on your pleasure and your healing through pleasure. Anything in the third house is going to be focused directly on the ninth house. So Venus only has one aspect, which is directly in front of her, which is going to be the ninth house. So whatever it is that she does, her focus is to bring spirituality. So if she is somebody who facilitates, I want to say costume design, that would work. If she wants to facilitate doing fashion shows, why is it so hard for me to say fashion show? If she does administrate or facilitate fashion shows For her, this is a spiritual thing. She is seeking, or he is seeking, to connect to spiritual truth. So when somebody like me comes along and says, fashion shows, what a waste of time, because I don't understand it. I mean, I appreciate wearing comfortable clothes, but I don't get it. She'd be very hurt by that because, no, why are you saying that? Look at how, the way that she is walking down that causeway with those clothes. Don't you see the beauty of how all life is interconnected? This is going to be her mindset in terms of that. Now, of course, planetary aspects will change that. If you've got Mercury aspecting that or Saturn aspecting that, then she might be very critical in that. But, again, this is all of these things you're going to have to figure out. If you really want to know the fine-tuning of your Aruda, go to astrology.thunderwizard.com and find out what your Aruda is. We do this service because, listen, I've wanted for years to find something that I could use to give myself success and make my life better. And I've done all kinds of things, meditation and mantra, and all those things help, but I was very frustrated until my astrologer pointed out what my Aruda was. And when he told me that my Aruda was Mars in the third house in Libra, he said, you are the spiritual warrior. You are the warrior of peace, the warrior of balance. Says this is how you need to present yourself. You need to dress like this. At the time I was an actor, he says you need to take roles as a policeman. Somebody who's the warrior who's out there protecting others. This is how people see you. The more that you can express this, the more successful you will be in your career and your life. I have nailed it down so that I have actually focused so hard on my Aruda. I see exactly where my planet is located, on which nakshatra and which pada, and what does all that mean. And I do exactly what that says. That is my career. It has served me. If you have Venus in the third house, but let's say you have some other scenario going on, you're a Mars sign, or you've got Moon and Mars, or you're a warrior, your essence is of a warrior, it's going to be very frustrating for you, because if you walk in the room, people aren't going to see the warrior. They're going to see this beautiful, healing person who's all about love and friendship and connection. So you're going to need to understand that that's how people see you, and that's where your success is going to come from. If you fight with your Aruda, if you knowingly or unknowingly sabotage your Aruda, you will only be sabotaging your success. If you like your Aruda, so much the better. My experience is that most people would love to be their Aruda if it were a Halloween costume contest. Now you ask them, now, would you dress like that in real life? They say, hell no, I would embarrass the hell out of me. Well, guess what? That's how you should look. I mean, look at everything I'm wearing, right? I'm wearing, sort of like the gladiator sort of thing. And when I got that, this is my Aruda. And so yours is yours. If no matter what you see yourself, how you see yourself, if you have Venus in the third house, it means that you have the ability to bring sensuality and pleasure in whatever way. You communicate this with your very essence when you walk in the room. And this is what is going to define your success in your career. So again, you want more information on that, go to astrology.thunderwizard.com. If I haven't gotten to your Arudha Lagna yet, hit the subscribe and then hit the bell button so that every time I upload a video, you'll be notified. And so there you go. If you want to learn my type of astrology, you can go to astrologycertification.thunderwizard.com, and then you can learn the astrology readings that I do, which in my experience, somebody said, why should I pay so much money for one reading? Because you're not going to need another one after this. This one reading, you can use it for the rest of your life. You'll know what mantra, you'll know what planets are working for you, you'll know your Aruda, you'll know what gemstone to wear, you'll know how, all kinds of things that will work for you throughout your life, regardless of what other planetary transits are happening. Okay? Astrology.thunderwizard.com. All right, my friends, that's it. Next time, let's see, we've done Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Venus. Next time, we're going to talk about Saturn in the third house. If that is your Aruta, You will learn about Saturn in the third house in the next one. Okay, talk to you guys soon.